An absolutely good evening to everyone. I hope everyone is okay. I really do. I'm okay, but there's a lot on my mind. Ellie Williams got sentenced to 8.5 years today, and she has lied. I never said she was totally innocent. I said she's lied. But what they haven't been telling you is what's going on around her case. I mean, 4 years before Ellie's case, the police were ignoring members of the public and kids who had concerns about guys trying to pick them up. They were ignoring them. Now, if the rape gang cases hadn't got so much ignorance ignored by so many people, Ellie's case wouldn't have got so big. It wouldn't have done, because people would have been wised up and they wouldn't have been so angry. But anyway, today is religious intolerance. And if you've not been following things, we've had the Batley school teacher issue. We had a guy in Oldham. Good evening, everyone. We had a guy in Oldham going live on Northwest Tonight saying that riots could happen again over sex education in schools. And at the time when he said that, he received £18,000 funding for his interfaith forum from Oldham Council. Lots wasted money. And he held protests at a local nursery school, a school where the kids don't even learn English properly. And he protested there, and the head teacher allegedly said that she had received death threats over what she was teaching the kids in school. And then obviously we've had the Batley school teacher incident, and that was 2 years ago now, where the Batley school teacher has had to change his name and his identity, and he's still in hiding. But what the media don't tell you is that other teachers were frightened, and I'm not sure if any of them have left the school. I'm not 100% sure, but other teachers were frightened, and parents were so scared that they wouldn't say anything because the fear of being branded with PC words. And how do I know this? Well, when the Batley by-election were on, I did a couple of days with Peter's in the chat, Peter Smith. We met up with Tracy Hurst, English Democrat runner at the time. And off camera, she was talking to a member of the public, a mum whose son or daughter goes to that school, and that's what she told her. That's what she said. And so I've no doubt, I don't doubt it, but you won't hear that off the mainstream media, though. They never say nothing. So, again, Birmingham over sex education protest. Now, I'm okay with protesting, me. Obviously, I don't want to call for any kind of rioting or anything like that. But if we're protesting, peaceful protesting, that's fine. I can accept that. But we've let certain communities just get away with practically murder, and they'll protest and kick off over everything. Now, this scuffed Quran. So they've got a white woman to wear an hijab. The police and it all are all out over a scuffed Quran, but like when a church is attacked, nothing's said. There's not this much action when a church, and I don't even remember this happened. Hang on. So a man tried to tear down. If you remember, a man tried to take the cross down. Now, he got arrested after the video provoked fury, but that's all. You know what I mean? Now, a Quran's been scuffed by somebody who the media and that claim is a bit disabled, mentally disabled, and there've been threats against him. So threats against a I think he's disabled, mentally disabled kid, over accidentally scuffing a Quran and threats on his life, threats on the teacher's life at Batley, and no one says anything and no one does anything. What's next? I'll tell you what's coming next, guys. Someone's going to get murdered because they've said something offensive or something like that. That's what's going to happen next. Someone's going to get murdered. And what's our authorities going to do? Are they going to do the same thing and do nothing? And it's wrong. Good evening, everyone. Summertime, Sue Andy, Red Volvo, Mark Williams. Yes, John. Thank you, John. And yes, Peter Smith. Paul Rimmer's not with us tonight. They had a successful meeting. 14 people turned up last night in London. We raised over 100 quid. We've now got enough money, and Pat's paid for 3 sets of leaflets. That's the Wirral, Bristol, and mine in Oldham. So they're all paid for. We've got about 90 quid left in bank. So anyone who's donated, thank you very much. Again, we've got all our leaflets now are paid for. Just need to get our media in and stuff, and then get them printed. The National Housing Party links in there. I just want to go through Don't Drink the Kool-Aid, our Kool-Aid magazine. Now, I have actually got an article in there called Remembering Gavinopoly. And, you know, I'm not just saying, I mean, obviously, Ellie Williams lied. Oh, yeah, she did. Right. But let's have a look at Gavinopoly's case. Let's have just a quick look at Gavinopoly's case. Oh. Yeah, so our Kool-Aid magazine, and number 5 is Remembering Gavinopoly. 21 years gone February that he got killed. And I'm just going to read it out to you. So remember, we know people have lied. We know the lying cases. 21 years ago, 19-year-old Gavinopoly and 2 friends were out in Oldham Town Centre. After travelling the wrong way in search of a taxi home, they entered the area of Glodwick via Waterloo Street, which is an area generally known as a no-go zone. So this is after the riots. So the time coming up to the riots and after the riots, you just didn't go in that area. I didn't go in that area. It was at this point that they were spotted and then chased in what was never going to be anything but a vicious attack on 3 white lads. One of the lads was let into a local family's house to hide. Another made his way back to Oldham Town Centre. Unfortunately, the 3rd lad, Gavin, wasn't as lucky and was cornered by 9 men. He was brutally beaten with a final flying kick to the head. It bounced off a fence before smashing down hard onto the concrete. Gavin died a couple of days later in hospital. I have been tormented by a resounding thought going around in my head ever since that fateful night. I myself was out that very same night and got pulled by the police, who asked if I'd seen anyone being chased. I responded by stating that if he's gone that way, pointing towards Glodwick, he won't be coming back. And then I pointed in the other direction and said if he's gone that way, he's on his way home. Then a couple of days later, I read that Gavin had died. I have always felt terrible after I said what I did to the police. This incident happened a year after the Oldham Bradford riots. Tensions were still high in the town and the council were blaming the far right, when in reality, it was the council's own fault for not dealing with these issues, which is something I talk about a lot. That goes back to the Ritchie report. Remember, I've talked about that. You can go and look at the Ritchie report if you want to. One man got rape and drug charges dropped for shopping in another man who lied and said he wasn't there. So this is 2001, and one of the defendants has been charged with rape and drug charges, because no matter what you think, them young white girls are being raped for 20, 30 years in Oldham. Even though Sam's case only goes back 10 or so years, this is 20 years ago. So one of the guys got them charges dropped for shopping in another man who lied and said he wasn't there. The other guy said he was working on the night. The other guy said he was working on the night. So, like, how come no one's vilifying him for lying? So someone's been killed. This guy's lied. He didn't do over 2 years. 21 months, I think, was the highest sentence of the 9 lads. And so how come all you white people aren't going after him after what Ellie's done and Ellie's lied? Honestly, just that's why we don't live in an equal world, because one section of the community doesn't get vilified and another section does. And I never said that Ellie is totally innocent. I never said that. I've always said there's much more behind the case, but no one wants to see that. All the vilifying is one girl. And yes, of course, girlfriends and partners do lie against each other. But the simple fact is, if the rape gang cases hadn't been ignored like they have been, then this wouldn't have happened with Ellie. Nobody would have ran up there. We wouldn't have got coach loads of people to go up demo him, because we would have known that these issues get dealt with, but they never do. But so he lied, and 21 months the highest sentence, 9 months the lowest sentence. And I go a little bit further into this. This is not fact. This is my opinion now that I'm coming to tell you. Right? It's my opinion. Just let me put it. So nobody was ever convicted of Gavin's death, something which I heard many Pakistanis were actually bragging about around the town. Now, in the chat, we've got the Roch. Good evening, the Roch in the chat. Roch is a Rochdale lad. Roch knew Gavin. And what I said about them bragging, and I heard this when a couple of years after it happened, but Roch has confirmed that by that he's heard that in Rochdale. So these guys go around bragging that they killed someone and they got away with it. Honestly, this is... So, I'm not happy with any of the justice system. I never have been. You show me where I'm happy with the justice system. So, Gavin's family have said they felt let down by the justice system. While Gavin lay bleeding on the ground, his assailants robbed him. Although it does not say in the newspaper reports, I believe he would have been kicked or stamped on as well. Doesn't say that in the newspaper report. Doesn't say anything like that. But what I know about these kind of attacks, they definitely would have been kicking him while they were on the ground and stamped on him. All this adds up to Oldham getting the politically correct stamp of approval. This is despite the way the council treats people, mainly white people, with absolute contempt over any issue involving our Muslim communities in Oldham. This leads to resentment from other communities, which the council then ignores and / or brands with PC words. Unlike Stephen Lawrence's case, Gavin's case was completely ignored by almost everybody except people with a voice like mine. To all Oldhamers, stop. Don't drink the Kool-Aid and wake up. I am actually, there is a link to government website, Hate Crime England Wales. I'm about to be drafting up an email for a freedom of information request on ethnicity, and in the cases, did they charge the cases with racial cases as racial cases? We're going to look into that. But that's our latest February edition of Don't Drink the Kool-Aid. So an article by me there remembering Gavin Opley. remembering Gavin Opley. Craig, yeah, same with the young lad in Scotland, yeah, Chris Donald. Absolutely, totally ignored, mate. And them guys as well, who killed Chris Donalds, they all ran off to Pakistan, the three of them, and it took a couple of years to get them back. And I can tell you a bit of a fact about that. A local Pakistani councillor at the time, I don't remember his name, he went to Pakistan to get these guys extradited. Because he did that, he's now quit as a councillor because he gets so many threats off his own community for getting them guys back for justice. Now, you don't see that read many times, but that is a factual thing about the Chris Donald case. So, now, practice your religion and all that, but you can't be living in England, show blatant intolerance to other religions and expect it to be okay, or other religions and stuff like that, such as damaging the Quran and stuff like that. Now, in England, there's been no. The teacher got death threats at Batley School. No one's been convicted of that, threatening him with his life. Now, if I threatened a lefty or someone who's like opposite to me or whatever, as soon as I threaten them, then I would be arrested and convicted of a charge. But nobody who threatened that teacher has been arrested or charged with any offence. The little kid as well who damaged the Quran, he's been apparently threatened violence against him. Nothing's been said. All they've done is dumb white people have put hijabs on and oh, sorry, and that's what they've done. Instead of saying, right, well, have some tolerance. You get convicted for threatening people, which you can't do. If there's a paedophile lives next door to you, you go out and you threaten to end his life, you're getting a charge, guys. You're getting a charge. If someone's robbed your house and you know where they live and you go around and you threaten them with violence, you're getting a charge. But obviously, when it's a different section of the community or someone who's protected, then there's no charge on them. You know what I mean? So why shouldn't I go around threatening everyone? Why shouldn't I do it? You know what I mean? People have said nasty things about me, man. Shouldn't I go and threaten them? What's it called? Not here. Matthew Collins turned around and said I'm a smackhead. So can I go and threaten him? No, I can't. If I threaten violence against him for calling me that name, then I am gonna get convicted of an offence. That's how the law works as far as I know. But it doesn't work like that, and it only works on a one-sided basis, obviously. The local councillor, Roch is saying, didn't even condemn the death threats. Honestly, that's what we've come to. So they can death threat a disabled kid and get away with it. Honestly, like someone's going to get killed soon. And our government won't know what to do. They won't know whether to charge the person with the person deaf or not, because it'll be something religious. And they'll be, oh, should I do anything? But I don't want to be called politically correct words or bigot or anything like that. So we'll cover it up. It was mentally ill who killed him. That's what was the excuse, which they brought in a lot of times, this mental illness thing. But you mark my words. If something happens, mark my words, next few years, something's going to happen, religious ways, and then someone is going to get killed. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I think it's happened already, but we're just too blind to have seen it. I think it's already happened already. I'll try and dig into a couple of things about religious things, but I think it's happened already. Good evening, Arlene. Good evening, Craig. Roch. Good evening to see you, mate. Peter Smith. God bless you there, brother. Andy Red Volvo, oh, you're a legend. You're a legend amongst legends. Summertime, Sue, hope you're all right. So yeah, it's pretty bad the intolerance that other people have. Now, again, you know, I'm against sex education in school, but I don't think we should be rioting over it, and I don't want to put threats of violence against anyone, against anything like that. I don't want to put threats of violence against anyone in the trans community. Or if you do what you want to do, but you don't do it with, you don't put it onto our kids, and you don't push us that we have to sign up to all these things that you want us to do when you don't do it to us. So no, we don't do pronouns or any rubbish like that. But again, I don't throw any threats of violence towards anyone. I don't expect anyone in our party ever to do anything like that. And I would say all my closest friends in the Patriot movement, yet again, they don't do that. We don't support anything like that. But obviously, when it's other people doing it, it's all right. No one will say nothing. The mainstream media don't say nothing. The MPs, the local councillors don't say anything because they're afraid. As soon as they get to like that, you know that they're afraid of being branded with politically correct words and losing votes. But they should be losing votes. It's madness that Labour get in every year with the Muslim vote in Oldham, yet Labour are pushing LGBT. Labour are pushing sex education in schools. So why are you still voting Labour or Conservative on them two issues? On that one issue, sex education, I don't know why anyone is voting Conservative or Labour. Conservative aren't Conservative because they're pushing all this LGBT rubbish. Labour, they're pushing it all. But in Oldham, the Muslim community votes for Labour. Now, if you voted for me, all that end won't be doing no sex education. Oldham become a lot equaler. You wouldn't get so much harassment over the rape gangs or anything because we convict the people involved in them and we wouldn't hide away with politically correct words. And a woman said this, Muslim woman said this to me. It's the police's fault. They're one of the biggest crooks I blame to do with the rape gangs. No, I blame the police more than I blame the perpetrators. Because if you're allowed to rape, you're going to continue to do it. And these people were allowed to by the police and the council. They didn't do anything to stop it. So they carried on doing it, carried on building up their empires, carried on trafficking all these girls because no one were dealing with it. No one would deal with it. So a paedophile is always going to be a paedophile unless you put things on to stop them. You give them tougher sentences, sex register, and stuff like that, and you don't have them running in council positions and stuff like that. Honestly, so you know, so that's what the woman said to me. And of course, I blame the police. I know the biggest Big Johnny's the biggest verbal critic of the police. Big Johnny's the one in the Merz question time who said take political correctness out of the investigation, turned around and said that all you police may as well be crooks, gangsters, and sex offenders. That's what Big John said. So yeah, I do have a lot of issues with the police. So no one can say that I just pick on one particular thing. I don't go on about religion. I don't go on about the Quran. I don't read what's in it. I don't read out verses of the Quran. I'm not interested in any of that. None of this would have happened if mainly white people would have dealt with the issue instead of being feared of being called racist and being politically correct. We won't be in this mess. So yeah, I'm only going to do a quick half an hour. I am knackered today. I've been to a meeting with Citizens Advice Bureau with Dolly over getting a legal aid towards a whistleblowing case. And then I took my mum down to Hollingwood today. Unfortunately, one of my mum's friends who was 90-odd called Celia has just recently passed away. She's known my mum for more than 20 years and always been a good friend. But rest in peace, Celia. I always used to sing Cecilia by Madness. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. That's what I used to sing to Celia. But God rest her soul. But yeah, so I've been pretty busy and I've been like this all day. Well, like this at 9:30 this morning. And then throughout the afternoon and down Hollingwood. I went round seeing a couple of people. I went round visiting a couple of potential voters as well. So I've had quite a busy day out. Tomorrow we've got our council meeting, 6 p.m. at Oldham Council. So I'm going to that. Residents have got issues with not being let in. We've been given fake ASBOs, and we want to try and sort this situation out. So I'm going. I did ask a question. I have emailed in a question, but whether they'll let me ask that question, I don't know. But yeah, religious intolerance is going to only get worse. It's only going to get worse. And our authorities, government and the police don't do nothing about it. So somebody is going to die over the book or something like that. It won't be the Bible, because everyone disrespects the Bible and stuff, and nobody kicks off about it. But if it is another holy book, a Jewish book or a Islamic book, then there's going to be trouble. There's going to be big trouble. The Batley school teacher has got a new identity and stays hidden. As for local parents, we was there. It was about 2 months where they had the by-election, and it was a couple of months after the Batley school teacher thing, or a few months, and the parents were still frightened, guys. The parents were still frightened. You don't hear that off mainstream news. You don't hear that off anyone. But if you don't believe me, ask Teresa yourself, the English Democrat runner. This is a woman who's had tens of thousands of votes in MP elections in Leeds. She comes second in the mayoral candidate election with something like 15,000 votes. So this isn't somebody who's not known. This isn't somebody who's you can brand or anything like that. But she was there at the time. Peter Smith, my mate, were there. And the parents of the children were frightened to say anything about it to anyone, whether it be the police or the school. The parents, you don't hear that off mainstream media. And I must say, Teresa was a bit hesitant about going up doing a video at the school. I went, you what? None of that. Let's go. So we went up. We escorted her up, me and Peter. Then she did a little video. And this is the day before the election. She did a little video and talked about the issues with the school and how people have been threatened. I'll try and drag it up and put it on my YouTube. So there's me. There's our link to the Kool-Aid. Please go on to the website and have a look at our Kool-Aid magazine. Again, Article 5, Remembering Gavin Opley by myself. I've written that. And it's been a big thing with me. But yeah, let me just quickly find... No, I can't find it. I did have it. I know. But thank you to everyone who's donated as well. Thank you very much. Lisa Leto, I think you were one of the last to donate. Thank you, love. Mark Williams, I know you've donated. Thank you, mate. Again, we've paid for now 3 sets of leaflets. So that's all paid for, and we've got about 90 quid, 100 quid left over in the pot. But we're still collecting money, and we want to get another 20,000 recruitment leaflets. Practically all the last 20,000 have been out. So we want to get another 20,000 recruitment leaflets. So we're still asking for donations and money. If you want to join our party, please go through the website. You can join there. Obviously, with joining, you'll get access to our emails about Bible study, streams and stuff like that. We haven't sent out any emails asking for anything, but we do send out emails thanking people for donations and stuff like that. If you become a member, you get membership details. We will get membership cards coming up soon. And obviously, you'll get emails about streams and stuff like that. As a party member as well, you can put articles on the website. And you can do articles on the website. If you can help us in any way, if you've got any kind of social media skills, you might fancy running a Twitter page for us or something like that. If you want to do something like that, then get in contact with us. We're pretty hyped up on Twitter at the moment. A couple of us have blue ticks. And what I've noticed with the Twitter algorithms, and I noticed this the other day, Northwest... James Goddard's put a video up, and I've gone on, shared and commented on the video, which put it to the top of the viewing list. So his videos ended up getting 15,000 views in just an hour. And I think that's because I'm a blue tick, and blue tick, their stuff gets put higher up in the feeds. So people have seen it. So we're getting to know how the algorithm works on Twitter, which is good. You need to know all these things. But if you want to run a social media page for us, get in contact with us, please. Obviously, we need to know who you are. If you're someone we don't know, then we want to meet you up, ask questions, stuff like that. But there's plenty in the chat who we know already. So if you fancy running a social media page, maybe for your town, your particular town or your particular area. We haven't got nobody in the northeast, so we'd like someone in the northeast to run a Twitter page for us. So get in contact with us, please. You can help us in many, many ways. That's just one of the ways you can help us. Don't forget, please check out our Kool-Aid magazine. Good evening, Lodger. Check out our Kool-Aid magazine. And again, my article number 5, Remembering Gavin Opley. And I've always, the night that the police asked me if I'd seen any lads being chased, and I've put it on but the exact words, this is what I said, the exact words were, right? I really shouldn't be saying it, but I'm going to say what the exact words were. And I said, if he's gone that way, which is towards Glodit, where he went, I said, he's not coming home. Yeah, I said that. And I said it that way because even then I knew that was an area that you don't walk, you don't go from town. If he's a lad being out drinking in town, you just not go that way. Then I said, the other thing I said, if he's gone that way, then he's got it and he's on his way home, meaning he's got a bird and he's on his way home. That's what I said to the coppers. And it was like half-heartedly. And then a couple of days later, he'd been killed, and then it came out he just got brutally kicked to death. And I could never forgive myself. I didn't blame myself, but I thought how ignorant I was when I knew what it was like in that area. We know people had been innocently beaten up already, and one of the powder kegs for it was William Chamberlain, he was called, Old Man Chamberlain. Got beat up on his way home, an army veteran, by youths, 15-year-olds, which is a regular occurrence in Oldham against older people, especially if they're white. And I mean, someone Muslim pointed out, well, there was some attacks on Muslims. Yeah, because the council just ignore everyone and brand people with politically correct words, so people are going to resent, and that's where the resentment for our council has come from. That's why so many people resent our council, because they don't deal with the issues. And I've told you this. I've showed you it. 20 years ago on that Ritchie report, everything that's said in there, I've always said the same things. But I don't know why people just don't listen to me. But, you know, the Labour Party don't want to listen to us. So you mark my words, religious intolerance is going to end up with someone being killed. That's what it's going to end up. And nobody is going to do nothing. The authorities are going to go, They might look like they're locking the perpetrator up, but they won't do no. They won't go to the community and say, "Look, you can't do that. You can't kill people because you disagree with their religion, or they've upset you, or they've offended you. You can't kill people." But that's where it's coming to, and then it's just the wrong way to go. If you ask me, the wrong way to go. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you. This is NHP UK Party Talk on a Tuesday, and you don't get no more. You don't get as much as this off other people. They will not tell you they won't tell you the blind, simple facts. They won't give you the links that link things up together. Other YouTubers just come on, point the finger at someone and just slag them off. That's all they do. A lot of these YouTubers have got issues with everyone, except for they're not solving nothing. When Big John's on the case, you get the facts, you get a really good opinion, an evidence-based opinion, which is mine, and I'll tell you the truth, and I'll show you the evidence as well. But thank you very much. It's a NHP UK Party Talk. Sorry, Paul Rummer couldn't be with us, but he's just done a meeting, a successful meeting in London, and 14 people raised over £100, which is now paid off all our leaflets, and we've got about 100 quid in the bank. But thank you very much, everyone. Hey, John, I've had my tea, had it early. That what Kira's coming in for me, mum, that. But thank you, John. Honestly, Craig, that is right. That is absolutely right. Well, I'll do I should do a video on that, them no-go zones and stuff like that. But there is. They are feared to go, like, and when I was younger, I wasn't feared to go anywhere, me. Obviously, my sisters weren't allowed to really go places on their own, but if there was with other members of the family, certainly me, then we went to Bradford, Birmingham. We travelled all over the country, us, and I never felt threatened that I couldn't go to any particular area and I wouldn't feel welcome. But now you go to other areas and you just don't feel welcome straight away, and you just know that there's going to be bad things going on, and the kind of tolerance that the new people have here is just unbelievably low. They don't tolerate anything. But thank you very much. Religious intolerance, it's not good. It's been left to breed and to spread by our government, mainly white MPs, politicians, lots of white councillors. It's been left. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're always gonna be a paedophile unless you get fucking convictions, stiffer sentences, and you get done for it. But they don't get done for it. They don't get enough sentences. They get let out, people. They might go on sex offenders register. It don't stop them. We need to be tough. We need to be tough on crime, and justice needs to be equal. But thank you very much. Thank you.